Rebecca Blackwell, and welcome to City. If you've been looking for your favorite romantic restaurant in Los Angeles where you can have those soft violin nights or those hidden dark moments, if you're looking for hot jazz, whatever you're looking for in a romantic experience, we'll have it on this in a three-part series, this being the first of LA's romantic restaurants. So join us as we begin. We start with Il Chielo. I have many girlfriends who have said to me many times, I wish I could just find the right person to go with me to Il Chielo. And I'm lucky, I'm here tonight. I'm sitting under the sky, I'm out on the patio, and that's what Il Chielo means. I'm with Pasquale Vercella, who is the owner of Il Chielo. And he has something really seriously in mind when he opened this restaurant, and I'm hoping you'll share with us some of the things that it means to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you for coming over tonight.
And thank you for having us.
No, it's our pleasure. Now, Il Chielo was opened about 7.5 years ago, and when I opened the restaurant, my family in Italy has a hotel and restaurant in Sorrento, just on the Amalfi Coast. And it's a very romantic, it's nestled into the side of a hill. And when I found the location, I absolutely fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Il Chielo to be the most natural, romantic, you know, just a real restaurant where people could come in and share conversations and not have to worry about being heard or having to scream at each other. And of course, the food is the most important thing. So we set out to design the restaurant so that it looks like a house no matter which direction you're in. In fact, it was a house. It was a house many years ago. And now we've been able to combine it with some incredible food. We brought all our recipes over from Italy. Some of our specialties are that we prepare the entire sea bass and bring it to the table and fillet it for you. It's grilled and then baked in the oven. It's called branzino al forno. It's delicious. And our pastas are all homemade. We have our own herb gardens as well, so we prepare our own herbs. We have found that, if you don't agitate food too much, you just sort of coax the gentle qualities of it out without camouflaging it with a lot of heavy sauces. And so our food basically lies in the northern Italian country cuisine. And a lot of rustic dishes, a lot of very light dishes. We have wonderful bow tie pasta with fresh salmon and piselli. We have incredible, our veal chops and our lamb chops are very special. But seafood is one of our specialties. Seafood is our, I guess it's what we're known for.
Well, you certainly have stayed with your plan to keep a very natural atmosphere, a very homey atmosphere, one in which people can sit and quietly talk and not be disturbed and not be rushed and enjoy the whole experience of being together. And
that's what dining is all about.
It is. As you were saying earlier, it's like enjoying the person you're with if you can't enjoy the person you're with. And you've provided the backdrop for that. But you also provide the backdrop for very many special occasions in town, and I thought you might want to tell us about what goes on here.
Well, when we are not open on Sundays to the public, we're open to brides and grooms. As we've done, Il Chielo has been the home of about 420 weddings thus far.
Oh my goodness.
And they primarily take place on Sundays, either during the morning or the evening. And the entire facility is used. We have a special way of setting up the restaurant like a village.
Well, we want to conclude now, but we do want to say that this is a wonderful little spot, and it's right on Burton Way. It's across the street from the Four Seasons Hotel. You're probably familiar with that location. It's a block and a half east of Doheny,
right.
And your exact address is
9018 Burton Way.
9018 Burton Way, and I know that you will be able to have a wonderful dinner and a conversation, lunch. You're here for lunch as well. It doesn't have to be dinner. It's just a beautiful experience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pasquale.
You're welcome.
I'm Rebecca Blackwell, and I'm sitting at the very famous terrace at the Mondrian Hotel on Sunset Boulevard. And why is it famous? Because it's outside and it's got a magnificent 360-degree view. Is it,
One
Michelle?
of the best views in the city.
Michelle Bolton
honestly.
is the publicist for the Mondrian, and she's here with me tonight so that we can talk about all the events and the truly romantic opportunities here at the Mondrian. First of all, though, I think we should talk about the Mondrian itself and find out its namesake is the Dutch artist.
That's Chez Mondrian. It actually opened in 1984. It was opened in anticipation of the Olympics, and it was opened as a tribute to the Dutch artist Chez Mondrian, who actually is celebrating his centennial next year. And we commissioned the Israeli artist Yaakov Agam to actually paint the exterior of the building as an homage to Chez Mondrian.
So it's living art right
It's
here
living
on the
art.
outside of the...
That's what Mondrian wanted. He thought that art shouldn't just be restricted to museums, and that it should be an outdoor experience. And so we've tried to incorporate that theme through, throughout the hotel, down to the placemats. So,
well, how many pieces of art do you have here? Because you can certainly have a wonderful romantic experience with the food, the art, the music, and all the entertainment.
It's a walking museum. I mean, it's. I think this property was one of the first to incorporate original artwork into the suites and public areas, and we have some 2,000 pieces of primarily contemporary art. We have, if you walk through the cafe, lots of Peter Max, and it's.
Well, we're just about to talk about the cafe because we're at the Mondrian. You have the intimate bar setting at the Bar Mondrian, and then you have that wonderful restaurant that we're featuring tonight, which is the Cafe Mondrian.
One of the most stunning views in the city. I mean, restaurant, not only does it have incredible food, our chef Samuel Mancuso changes the menus monthly, so it ensures a great variety and freshest ingredients.
Well, he has some beautiful platters and food to show tonight.
Yes, as we'll be seeing them shortly.
Do you have an idea of what he might be showing us, Michelle? Or?
I think we're going to be seeing the rack of lamb, which is very special, very romantic, and possibly some veal dishes as well, and an assortment of appetizers. And
he had a
salads.
salad in mind and some appetizers. Oh, he's really gone all out for us tonight.
And he's gotten such stellar reviews. I mean, he's really very creative, but still keeps to the basics. So it's very flavorful, but good-sized portions, and just cater to a large percentage of not only music but film and various sectors. But we have entertainment every night in our bar, the Bar Mondrian.
Oh, okay. Now we want to talk about that because being a leader as you are in the industry, you do have, what do you call it? Industry Unplugged.
You're right.
Industry Unplugged.
Wednesday
and
night.
It's Wednesday night. And tell us what you do at Industry Unplugged.
Basically, it's a showcase for established groups as well as up and coming groups, and it's an intimate setting. It provides them an opportunity to perform as they're poised to break, as they say in the industry, and it's just gone gangbusters.
Well, of course, it's a great opportunity for people that are new in the industry or undiscovered to show their talent and be discovered. And didn't you have a famous personality discovered here, or wasn't
That's right. Liza Minnelli discovered Michael Feinstein here.
Okay, well,
this is start.
So, well, Michelle, thank you for touring us through the Mondrian experience here.
My pleasure.
It is a very romantic place to be. It's one of the most breathtaking evening views, night views in the city, with all these little twinkling lights out here and the lights of the city.
It's very intimate. We have a honeymoon package too, so for those
honeymooners can come here and enjoy all this beautiful romance as well. So, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Rebecca.
And come to the Mondrian. I am eating the famous peanut that Chez J is known for. And I'm here with Jay Fiondella, who is the owner and has been the owner of Chez J, the famous Chez J on Ocean Avenue. It's been here for how many years, Jay?
Since 1959.
And there's so many stories about this place. It's just a fun place, and Jay has a way of describing his place.
Well, it's a high-class joint with good food, so dark you know what you're eating or who you're eating, and It's a very...
One of the things that the newspapers like to write about you is that all the stars like to come here because it's a quiet little place. They're not found, they're not discovered, and they can just quietly come in and be here.
That's true. I've had everybody in the last 34 years, who's been famous. Eddie Lamardo, Lana Turner, to Vivian Leigh, to Redford, to Newman, to Kissinger, to Sinatra, to Brando, to Joe DiMaggio, to Pfeiffer. You name anybody in the world who's been in show business or in Koufax, Drysdale, sporting figures. I've always respected people's privacy. I never allowed cameras or autographs.
Right.
People knew when they came here,
Right, and you're closely linked yourself with the industry because aren't you quite often in movies and TV?
I'm the world's worst actor, next to Nikki Blair.
Name some of the things that you've been on recently.
I just am in Bob Altman's new movie Shortcuts. Very apropos, I play a bartender, bar manager.
So we have to look for Jay on that one.
They shot Lethal Weapon 1 here. I was in 1, 2, and 3. Just small parts. And I go back to Sea Hunt, Wells Fargo, and Rescue Squad 8. And,
well, you've been serving delicious food here. I mean, we can call this a little hideaway, a joint. We can call it anything we want, but the food is outstanding. And what are some of the dishes that you're known for here, Jay?
Well, I have a gratin potato with bananas called La Jolla potatoes, which is just a little dish here.
We just happen to have it here beside the peanuts that you give away free, right? These are free
You
peanuts.
have that copy of Los Angeles Magazine? You can show the cover.
Well, we had a copy of Los Angeles Magazine in which they were talking about hunkerings.
Their 100 favorite side dishes, and
Right.
banana potatoes was number 10. But I have a sherry wine honey dressing. I have a non-fattening homemade orgasmic blueberry cheesecake.
Orgasmic.
Blueberry cheesecake.
Blueberry cheesecake.
And I had
Okay.
great swordfish, sand dabs. The best sellers are the sand dabs, the pepper steak.
This is just a sample of your menu here.
And I have specials every night. I have really great chefs, and the same help. Charlie, the waitress, has been here for 22 years.
Oh gosh, I came in here myself. I was proposed to in your place, Jay.
Oh, beautiful.
I know. Listen, I didn't accept right on the spot, but I actually was proposed to in this place. And when you talk about your romantic restaurants, it must be. I mean, after all. And I had the shrimp scampi that night.
Yeah, that's still one of my best sellers.
You still have that?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a garlic shrimp
Oh, yeah, here's a scampi, right? I have a scampi
Oh.
appetizer and a scampi on the dinner.
It was really delicious.
Oh.
And what about desserts? Do you have any desserts here?
My
orgasmic.
I've only had one dessert for 34 years, my non-fattening homemade orgasmic blueberry cheesecake. In fact, Jimmy Swaggart ate 2 pieces last time he was in there. I knew he anyways. And Mr. Baskin and Robbins came in 32 years ago, and he liked my blueberry cheesecake so much they made come out with blueberry cheesecake ice cream. I don't get any royalties, but
Well, needless to say, we have a real personality here. When you come into Chez J, you will enjoy Jay very much. People have through the years. In fact, this is one of the reasons that Chez J just continues and goes on.
well,
And I had a pleasure meeting with you today.
again,
Thank you.
return to the scene of the crime,
This
right?
is it. I came back. Maybe I'll get proposed to again
Well,
now.
I don't know. What are you doing later? I'm a married man with a young son, so I'm a
Okay,
lucky
bye-bye.
guy.
All right, Jay. Thanks a lot. Try to picture yourself sitting in Old Topanga Canyon Road in Topanga Canyon, amidst all the trees, babbling creeks, beautiful tables, a nice quiet retreat, and with lights at night, the most romantic restaurant you can find in all of Los Angeles. And of course, the Inn of the Seventh Ray is what I'm talking about. I'm with Lucy Yenny, who is the owner of the Inn of the Seventh Ray, and she has a whole story to tell us about the mood of the country 18 years ago when she and her husband started this wonderful, lovely retreat back here. And so, Lucy, tell us, how did you get the name? How did you start the Inn of the Seventh Ray?
Well, we decided, we were very young and in love, and we were not married actually when we started the restaurant, and we wanted to do a project that would have a certain kind of a meaning or purpose and would combine all the things that we were experiencing at this time. And so we were just starting to become vegetarians, and we were just starting to understand energy concepts and feelings and ambiences. We also had been looking for restaurants all during our courtship that were restaurants that we can just kind of tuck ourselves away in and have these most wonderful conversations that might last 3 or 4 hours and not get shooed out the door. And we would discover that some of these restaurants we would want to fight in, and other restaurants we couldn't say anything in. But then there were these very special restaurants that you would stay in your heart the whole time and just become very, very creative. And so when we created this place, we took the combinations of everything that we could figure out, which was the nature, the food. I carefully selected all the staff. Most of them were free from all the substances. I took a very strong stand against drugs. We played classical music, and I put a few rules back in the kitchen. One was there was no swearing. The staff was not to get angry with each other, and in general to try to keep the spirit of the place and the spirit of the staff at the level of the hearts.
I think you just touched a word that the Inn of the Seventh Ray has. It just has a spirit. Mm-hmm. It does.
In fact, at the very beginning, we used to call the angels down before we would open up the doors. We actually did a little prayer session before we opened up the doors. And we called it the Inn of the Seventh Ray, so the customers would always ask us what the Seventh Ray stood for.
And of course, that was the first question that I asked you. And I know there is an answer to this.
On target.
Okay, now what is the answer?
And the seventh ray is that when light bends through a prism, it divides into 7 colors, and every color has its own vibration. Mm-hmm. And the seventh ray is the violet ray, which is the very last ray before you go from your visible spectrum of colors to your invisible. So it's really that ray of transition, of change, of going from a material way of living and being to a spiritual way, or the invisible way of living and being. And then we created all the foods that help people in that transition. A whole array of vegetarian dishes, starting with the cheeses and dairy products, all the way into the macrobiotic style of cooking, which is done with no dairy products whatsoever. Well, we get very creative as we possibly can. And as many different things that, we'll cook with portobello mushrooms, we'll cook with cactus, everything that and different kinds of seaweeds, and we just have lots of fun to make things that taste really neat, so that when people can come, they say, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to deprive myself by eating this way. Mm. Yeah, we really wanted to do a retreat, so that if LA ever gets too intense, that there is this little place of serenity out in the middle of the mountains where people can always come. So we're open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner.
It's serene. I feel serene here with you, Lucy. It's the Inn of the Seventh Ray. It's been here 18 years. If you haven't discovered it, it's a must. Thank you, Lucy. I'm just off the 134 freeway, and I'm in Glendale at a beautiful romantic restaurant called Duet. And I'm here with the chef owner, who is Andre Guerrero. And Andre is truly one of these remarkable Renaissance men. He was raised here in Los Angeles, but he has an international bent, and he brings that into his tasting at the restaurant. And Andre, welcome. And tell us a little bit about your background and how you bring in all your exposure from around the world to the people that dine at Duet.
Okay. Well, I was born in the Philippines, and I came to the United States when I was very young. My grandfather was French. He was from Lyon. He was the first French consul general in the Philippines, and he had a French chef and a Chinese chef. And I just grew up around great food. I came from a big family. I was in the kitchen a lot with my mother, and my father had restaurants, so I was always around the restaurant business. And
Well, you were saying earlier that a lot of what goes on in being a chef is just having I call it a basic instinct. You had another word for it. How would you describe how you just sort of have a feeling?
Well, a lot of the instincts comes from just having a lot of exposure to a lot of food. I grew up eating Spanish food, French and Chinese, and also living in Los Angeles. I've been here for 35 years. You can't help but be exposed to so many cultures and cuisines, and that affects your sensibility. So we have an international sensibility here in Los Angeles.
So, you know, you can come here as a duet, a man and woman, a little couple, and find beautiful little candlelight dinner tables, and there's plenty of space here, all kinds of booths and nice warm atmosphere. And but now, Andre, you actually do bring this international flavor to your food, and you present it with a lot of panache, we should say, because you have a background in art.
Yeah, my background in art, I'm very visual. I see things in a very visual way. I visualize it in my mind, a lot of the ideas. And but the international flavor comes very natural to me because my background, I'm Filipino, I have some Spanish, French, and a little Chinese.
So you're going to tie in all of your experiences and bring them to the people in Los Angeles through your restaurant.
Yeah.
And there are special evenings that Andre is preparing. He has a Brazilian night coming up, and I have a schedule here, Andre. During the month of October, you're going to have, what is your seafood night?
The seafood night, I have a gentleman, his name is Bill Marinelli. He imports the best shellfish here in town. He sells to all the top restaurants. We're doing all shellfish, about 10 different kinds of oysters. We've got live pink singing scallops and mussels and clams.
Now this is something that's getting booked up very quickly. It's reservations are filling up right now. This is going to be for the 21st. It's a Thursday night here at Duet in Glendale, and it's a very popular night. Everyone loves seafood and shell seafood, and it's very booking up. We have the number of Duet on the screen right now, and we suggest you make a reservation right away for this. But then the following Thursday, if you want to just keep it going, there's going to be live, really wonderful live music and food. And
yeah, we've got a Brazilian night. We're serving the traditional dish of Brazil, which is feijoada. It's a black bean stew. We have some other dishes also, seafood. We've got a Brazilian jazz band, and we'll have some Brazilian art. And it's going to be a real cultural experience and a lot of fun.
Well, it's always a romantic experience here to be a Duet, and we've enjoyed having an opportunity to talk with you and to introduce you to those people that possibly haven't experienced your international flavor yet. Thank you very much, Andre, and everybody be sure and call for your reservations at Duet in Glendale. Thank you. When you think of the beautiful Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, you may not be thinking of the Grand Avenue Bar, and it's known for all its jazz and wonderful food, and I'm here with the manager, Steve Donald. Steve, tell us, what is the Grand Avenue Bar?
Well, the Grand Avenue Bar is downtown Los Angeles' only jazz nightclub. We've had jazz here for over a decade. We feature some of the finest jazz artists in Los Angeles. We're the only club that offers live jazz 4 nights a week with no cover charge and only a 2-drink minimum. And that includes the wonderful buffet and the live entertainment and some of the best atmosphere you can find in any jazz club in Los Angeles.
I had a chance to actually experience coming in and just having the welcoming of the Grand Avenue Bar. I was here for the buffet. I had you're famous for your margaritas, right?
Correct.
And they had, I had a strawberry margarita, but how many do you have? You have a selection of
we have a variety.
Bananas, strawberry, you name
Peach,
it, all kinds of margaritas. So I had the margarita, I listened to the jazz. It was so entertaining. I think it's the best deal in all of LA. That's how I feel about it. And then there's the $4 valet charge.
Valet parking.
Valet parking, only $4 after 5.
After 5 o'clock for all the cars which enter the hotel garage, and valet park, it's a flat rate of only $4 to park your car right here at the Biltmore Hotel.
I was just saying, though, that I feel like I live in Beverly Hills, so to start from point A in Beverly Hills and go into either Brentwood or someplace like that would take me just about the same amount of time as it would to come to downtown LA. And by the time I get downtown LA, and $4, valet my car, come in here, spend a fabulous evening. It would be the same as going somewhere you know, in that direction. And I feel that the deal down here that you get at the Grand Avenue Bar, now you have some great things coming up in terms of like famous jazz musicians and jazz nights. What
That's
could
correct.
you...
Coming up on October the 21st, we have a real jazz legend, alto saxophonist Charles McPherson will be here from beginning at 5:30 in the evening, and he plays till 9:30. We have all of our jazz artists that we feature are some of the finest jazz artists that you'll see anywhere in Los Angeles. People like Kei Akagi, Eric Reed, Billy Mitchell and John Bolivar. Just an incredible selection of jazz artists. Every Friday night we feature a Brazilian jazz artist here in the Grand Avenue Bar. We're the only club in Los Angeles that features Brazilian jazz on Friday nights, and we get a really good crowd.
It's very
it's
exciting.
a lot of fun.
It's between 5th and 6th and Grand and Olive. I mean,
That's
of
right.
course, the Biltmore takes up the whole block, so
Yeah.
that's where it is. But it's Grand Avenue exit, or if you're valeting, then I guess you would come in through another entrance and look for the Grand Avenue Bar signs through the lobby.
That's correct. There's signs that'll direct you right down to the Grand Avenue Bar from inside the hotel.
Steve, the food and beverage director, Ernesto, is here, and I would like to just say hello to him and bring him over here for a minute. So
Oh, sure.
let's bring him into the eye of the camera here. And Ernesto, how are you? So nice to see you again. It's a pleasure to be here at the Grand Avenue Bar, and I know that we're going to have a real hot time tonight. It's Friday
That's
night.
very true. This is probably one of the places where you have had jazz and cool drinks here.
Oh, I already talked about the margaritas. I already talked about the margaritas. We're just getting ready for the music to just get going
It's
here.
about to get started soon, so I think we're going to have a fun
I just
evening.
hope that the people that see this show just get in their cars and come on down.
Just come on down. We're ready for you. We're
Okay.
ready to have fun here tonight.
Okay, from the Grand Avenue Bar at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, come on down. Thank you for joining us this week on City and exploring LA's most romantic restaurants. There's more to come. Stay tuned next Wednesday night at 7:30. We'll be back with more. Watch.